G'day everybody. Now I want to talk about the importance of righteous laws. As some people, their religion is to follow the law. They don't have a book to guide them like religion people have. They have a book, a law book pretty much, to keep them guided no matter who tries to come in or where they go when it comes to different laws. They have their laws that they stand by, and the other laws, if they go by them, is because they need to, because they go on a visit and stuff like that. You know, when you go overseas, you've got to live by their laws. But other than that, they go back to their little bubble, their home, their church, and they live their way happily, even though they can't enforce it. So they settle. It's called settling. They will do a belief, but they won't enforce a belief 100% for their life. Some of them do. Some of them come around and preach. They like to preach. They'll enforce preaching, but they won't enforce that. They'll enforce those laws, you see. And that's where they fail when they come to preach to you. If you preach something, but then it's only in that bubble, right? All bad guys talk like that all the time. Oh, life's like this, life's like that. And because they're in a bubble and they do certain things, they go scam, they go do this, it's easy for them. Rah, 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 don't get caught. Some of them get a little afraid all the time as they do bad things all the time, right? And so law is important, right? As law is our biggest religion to get along. Law and money, right? If they get corrupted, that means the whole system's corrupted. Now, what stops the law and money from getting corrupted? Well, the Bible talks about stories about how to stop their corruption and what sets it off. But what is explained to us? Well, the information is scattered everywhere, all over the internet. Scattered. You can look for information, and it depends on how educated you are to how you see things. If you're not well educated, you will fall for propaganda. It means what's going around with the people. So you follow along. A little bit like what a kid does, following an adult most of the time. They believe it's the way to succeed in life and live happy and stuff like that, and it looks cool. They will follow it, right? They will follow what needs to be done. And so when it comes to laws, people look at law like this. They will say, why do you do that? That is wrong, that is not good, as these people aren't educated, they're law first, you get it? That is not good, you shouldn't be having that. That's against the law. I don't like you because you have something that's against the law. Let's debate the same thing on a scale when it comes to marijuana and alcohol. You shouldn't have marijuana as it's against the law, as it rots your brain and all the nasty things that the propaganda tells us about. Yes, you are correct. That is their opinion and this country's opinion on a product. But what about the other product? Alcohol, right? Alcohol does all the same things and more of what you just said. And it can creep up really fast. It makes a whole lot more problems. And yet, it's the law. So does that mean it's right? Then these people will walk away, say nothing, right? As they can't comprehend what I just said. They only comprehend that the law is what they told them. Right? This is how religion people get stuck in certain wrong ways. It's what you call taking your shoes off every time you come inside. It's a habit of what you've been learning, of the education you've got. And sometimes you might get educated a little bit more, and when you see something, it blows your mind, and sometimes it might upset you. Wouldn't it upset you when you find out that you're doing something, paying dude over there $4 for a bracelet, when you can go get it over there from a dude for $1? Right? You find out information, but you like that dude as a friend. He's a good friend. He helps you out, stuff like that. So it's hard to go approach him, where the other one ignores you a lot, right? Doesn't talk to you, but will give you what you need, right? And so you might get upset. You might go back to your friend and go, why do you charge so much to you to be nice? Is that $3 extra for every product on something that's $1? So it's $100. I'm going to pay now $400 because you're nice to me, or are you scamming me? Are you being nice to scam me? That's what you got to watch out for, because that's what the devil does. Makes things look good to get an outcome. And so that's what you call a business that wants too much money, as countries have been talking about lately, about price gouging and all that kind of stuff. And so when people believe it's the law, they believe it must be the right thing. That's what they believe. That's how I see how I've had conversations with people. And they believe it's the law, it's right. Once you make it the law, it's very strange, because I've even said to these people, well, if it was law, what would you say? You know what you get? The same similar thing from most people. They say nothing or walk away. Right? What happens if I say what you're doing right now? So you're a drinker and I'm a smoker, in that bracket, right, people? What happens if mine becomes the law and yours doesn't? Can I just say what you just said to me, and I say you're now wrong and you're doing the wrong thing, and I don't like you because you break the law? People don't like people because of that, because of law. They go like, well, I can't like you now. Right? As you setting a bad example, they would say, or as I might get in trouble being around you as you're breaking the law. So when laws change or policies change, which they do all the time, they're meant to change for the better, not just because someone else is in and a group's talking about it. That's what you'll see mostly. They're meant to be changed for science and for logic, for the better, for everybody. We have leaders that we tell them what we want. Kids always go, I want this for tea, but it's up to the parent in the end to go, well, if we've got that, we'll give you that. It's possible we'll make it happen. But if it's not, it's not. Right? Here's why it's not. We use logic and science. It's what we call education. Why you go to school, son and daughter. You get it? But then we get older after these people have gone to school and these parents have told us this, and then we find out it's false, like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, and that they're trying to put us in a fantasy land to be something, but then if you try to do it, you can't. Like, speak up to courts when they say speak up for what you believe is right, but then they won't let you do it. They won't let you speak science. They will just say, no, it's the law, or this is my opinion. Right, you get it? Which what they've made. They made the law. So it doesn't mean it's right, does it? So how can you truly debate when you can't use science and righteousness? Right? Science means study, education of what you're speaking about, like I talked about when it comes to marijuana and alcohol. When you get rid of any drug, people need drugs, as we talk about all the time. We suffer in depression. Drugs is best thing for depression. We have all sorts of forms of drugs, and drugs work differently for everybody. That's why we also need all sorts of forms. What I don't agree is, and I always debate people, is why won't they talk about science when it comes to what we have for drugs, and why is marijuana so locked out? You look around the world and you go, why is marijuana so locked out? And the only conclusion I come up with is it's too easy to create. You don't need to do much to it. And so when it comes to big companies, they like to have specific machines and rights and copyrights so they can control and dominate and have certain areas. And when it comes to a seed that everyone can get and a plant that you don't need to do much to get the benefits out of, right? They don't like that. Right? They like it that they can hold materials back. See, when you go to make all these other drugs, you need machines, things and stuff like that, which you also do with marijuana. You can concentrate it, but you don't really need machines so much. It can all be done by yourself, and they don't like that. They like that they have control. That's what I believe. You let me know in comments what makes sense to you, why something that should make sense should be there, or something, or they should all be gone completely, right? Don't be a hypocrite. Don't say that one's better than that one when it's not. Right? And it might be for that one, but it's not for that one, so what are you going to do about it? Can we have one for that one? Oh, but we're upset that one takes that one that's not good for that one. Well, that's freedom of choice. You're always going to have that problem. Don't punish people because of that. Right? People will always find a way to kill. If they have a spoon, fork, fucking fist, they're going to do it. You don't just keep taking away things. In fact, when you take away from people all the time, you might find they get upset and you'll cause actually more problems. And in China, where they've taken away a lot of things, they have a high suicide rate because they can't do much. And so they just kill themselves, jump in front of trains and stuff. Can't do much. You might as well just do that then. Killers don't become a killer. You just have a nation of people who want to kill themselves because they can't do anything, as all freedom has been taken away from them. And they're controlled like little babies. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. You let me know if you've had a similar conversation when it comes to people and the law. and how they pick on you and treat you in such a way because it's against the law, even though those laws might be used somewhere else, or those law or what you're doing could be explained through science as a better benefit way, is why we use science. But anyway, people do what they do. There's leaders that are what they are, and they have priorities, what they believe is top priorities. But I want to know, what do you believe is a priority, and what's the best way to approach things to advance ahead? Is it to just have certain people's opinions of groups, or have that and science? Or is it just science? Will science explain it all and keep the groups out? And in a way, yes. But it also does take the people. It takes a few things. Everything it always takes to get an answer, someone get killed. It's not one thing, it's usually many things that lead up. Have a good one, everybody, and see yous later.